What did you think about Khamzat's win against Whittaker?
It's like, you know, I expect Khamzat can beat him, but not like this, you know.
That was crazy.
He beat him like very easy, and he's like one of the best in his division.
I wouldn't say that, you know, oh, he's getting pitter-patter striked. I mean, his face was pretty busted up. The knees that he was taking to the body and to the legs and the hips, and it's going to be a long ride home to South Africa.
Just picture this. You're locked inside the UFC cage, and across from you stands a massive, bearded Chechen with the smile of a maniac, waiting for the signal to legally do whatever he wants to your body for 25 minutes, while your family, friends, and the whole world is watching live. Khamzat Chimaev might just have the scariest aura in the history of the sport. His aggressive calmness, that eerie smile, and the killer instinct. First, he just sits there quietly, giving short answers. Then he roars, "Allahu Akbar," and the closer it gets to fight time, the more cold-blooded he becomes. In today's video, we're going to talk about Khamzat's victims and what they went through before, during, and after stepping in front of one of the most terrifying fighters in history. But before we start, don't forget to hit that subscribe button unless you want to become his next victim. Let's go. After a grueling war with Gilbert Burns and a botched weight cut ahead of the Nate Diaz fight, Dana White made Khamzat face a crucial decision to move up to 185 once and for all. Khamzat's first opponent in the new weight class was supposed to be Paulo Costa, the Brazilian powerhouse with whom he had conflict.
Brazilian pushing. Yeah.
What's happened? What's happened?
Hey, what's happened? What's happened in Israel? What's happened with Israel? Fica aqui, ó. You fuck your ass, yeah? You fuck your ass, yeah? You fuck your ass, yeah? Come on. I'm here. You said you were gonna fuck now? I'm here now.
This fight was meant to give the world a clear answer just how deadly Chimaev's wrestling would be at middleweight, but fate had other plans.
The number 4 welterweight in the world, Khamzat Chimaev, is moving up to middleweight, and he will face the number 1 welterweight in the world, Kamaru Usman. So, number 1 versus number 4 at middleweight, Usman versus Chimaev. I will see you in Abu Dhabi.
Dana's bald head hadn't shined like this in a long time because we were about to witness a clash of eras. Back in the day, everyone called Kamaru one of the UFC's main boogeymen.
As you know, we're gonna do the man dance, and you know, when my will up against his, we'll see who starts to unravel first.
Somebody come to dancing, man. I'm here to kill somebody. Yeah? It's the different here.
The pre-fight conference was more intense and fiery than any of the Bilal fights, and during the face-off between Khamzat and Kamaru, the whole world literally froze in anticipation of fireworks. Despite back-to-back losses and no proper camp, Usman had the best takedown defense in the entire promotion, and on paper, he held a clear advantage in striking. The moment the fighters stepped into the cage, the air was electric, and their stare-down escalated the tension to the breaking point. Chimaev didn't stray from his usual approach. Right from the opening seconds, he shot for a takedown on Usman, completely disregarding the Nigerian's almost perfect takedown defense. For 4 minutes and 45 seconds, Khamzat controlled Kamaru on the ground, working relentless ground and pound and dominating the Nigerian nightmare, constantly hunting for a finish. Usman survived, but nobody had ever been dominated like this against him before and after. The next 2 rounds were razor close, but thanks to his wrestling and control, Boers earned the decision victory. All three judges scored the first round 10-8. Chimaev became the first fighter not only to take Usman down and keep him there, but to do it 4 times in a single fight.
Until I was in the back, finally, just warming up, I'm like, fuck this. Let's go, let's go make it happen. Let's go make it happen. We get out there, and right away takes a shot, and I'm just like, oh shit. He's a little bigger than I thought of.
After the win over Kamaru Usman, a few questions still remain for Khamzat. Can he keep that pace for a full 5 rounds if someone like Usman manages to survive? And what happens when his opponent gives him real resistance on the feet? A potential clash between Robert and Khamzat had been talked about for years, with both fighters often speaking highly of each other and showing mutual respect.
Robert Whittaker?
I like that guy, so I don't want to fight with good guys, you know. I need some bad guy. Robert never said something bad about me. There's a lot of guys talking shit about me. I can go take their heads off, you know. So we'll see.
He's a scary dude, you know what I mean? Like, he's just, I like it. He is next level crazy. No, I hope he keeps like trying to tear up the division and not target me. Please don't target me, Hazmat.
After some failed attempts, the fight between Chimaev and Whittaker was finally booked, and the predictions were different, especially after Rob's recent dominant W over Boers' former opponent.
Sits him down for a second. Oh! An uppercut from Whittaker! And that'll do it! How about the Reaper?
The former champion got back on a winning streak, scoring his first knockout in years, and was set to become Khamzat's final test on the road to undisputed gold. In the lead-up to the fight, we saw a different side of Boers, calm and composed, and the fans immediately dubbed him Dr. Khamzat.
Do you almost kind of want this fight to? Would you welcome that, just to kind of see what it's like to kind of maybe prove some people? Because I do think a lot of people think that, like, hey, if this goes to 4 and 5, that's going to be in trouble with probably Whittaker. So you almost kind of want that to happen so you can show him differently.
What Robert not gonna do anything? I just gonna do push-ups there to get tired. So of course he gonna be tired as well, man. So I don't care what people say, but I do my work, my job, and 13-0. It's me, not Rob.
It seemed like injuries and illnesses had taken a toll on the once hungry wolf, but the closer the fight got, the stronger the Chechen's aura became. The Reaper versus the Wolf, the odds were split. Some were certain Robert wouldn't even let himself get taken down, recalling his wars with Romero. Others believed Khamzat would grind out a tough decision, but very few expected this to be the way this fight ended. Most fans didn't even realize what had happened. From the very first seconds, Chimaev switched stance, threw a feint, and shot in on Rob like a freight train, giving the Reaper no chance. Whittaker fought back as best he could on the ground, even managing to slip free from the Chechen's grasp for a moment, but it didn't last long. Khamzat tied up Bobby Knuckles' arms and legs like a knot. Robert defended well, refusing to give up the choke, but the second Chimaev locked onto his chin. It was over before anyone could process it. No one understood how it all ended so quickly, not even the commentators. But when the X-rays of Robert's jaw were revealed, the whole MMA world was shocked, including Chimaev himself.
Photo of his jaw, it looked like he had either broken his jaw or dislocated and he's missing some teeth and they're pushing out. I'm curious if you've seen that and did you know the damage that you had done to him?
Yeah, before I come in here, they showed it for me, but I felt something was wrong with his chin when I push it, so, but I feel bad for that, so didn't mean to broke somebody's chin, but it's my work, you know, make somebody pain and make me happy and my family.
So you could feel it when you grabbed it?
Yeah, when I push it, when I felt some clicks. You know, so.
After the clash, the Reaper was sent to the hospital where 6 teeth had to be implanted, while Khamzat cemented himself as the true boogeyman of another division, the top contender to the throne, making a short statement: "Give me Dreykus, I'm the champion here."
Wanted to get your thoughts on Dricus as a champion, his run so far, and what do you make of his grappling?
What do you think, guys? How I done with this guy, Rob? How he done? Rob took him down. So if Rob took him down, so there is salam alaikum.
Dana was also in here, and he said, you know, that possible fight against you and Khamzat would also be pretty massive at this point. So if it were up to you and he came to...
No, Khamzat's first.
Khamzat's first?
Khamzat's first.
In the main event, the middleweight champion, Dricus du Plessis, will defend his belt against Khamzat Chimaev. Dricus' last 4 wins have come over former champs. He hasn't lost in 7 years. 20 of his 23 wins have come by finish, and now he faces the undefeated 16-0 Khamzat Chimaev. This is a badass fight, and the fight you've all been waiting for. UFC 319.
After another successful title defense and a decisive win over Sean Strickland, DDP, like a true champion, himself challenged Boers for a fight, doing something few champions would dare. The fight between Khamzat and Dricus promised to be one of the biggest in 2025, and with the insane streaks of fighters in the UFC, this matchup looked highly competitive. On Khamzat's side, incredible wrestling, control, and ultimate grappling. Meanwhile, Dricus brings the most unorthodox style in the company, brutal power, strength, and, of course, plot armor that's allowed him to beat everyone, even those he wasn't supposed to. On paper, DDP was almost always the underdog, but as he himself said, reading isn't really his thing.
You can't change the facts, but you can't change those facts.
Batman versus Joker, that's what this matchup was often called, and we saw the good old Khamzat, hungry to devour and destroy everyone in his path. Fight Week brought out 1 million armchair psychologists, all claiming that Dricus was afraid of Chimaev, that Khamzat's aura had already swallowed him whole. Chimaev showed up in the US rocking his old gimmick, but DDP stayed calm and composed. At least on the surface, he carried himself flawlessly. When the fighters stepped into the cage, the tension was unreal. Dricus looked calm and locked in, while Khamzat was already chasing the South African before the fight even started, practically devouring him with his stare. Chimaev was just waiting for the bell, ready to pounce on his prey with only one goal in mind.
Smash.
The stare down we'd been waiting months for was finally over, and the fighters met in the center. The big question, would Chimaev shoot for the takedown right away? After all, Dricus is incredibly strong and had surely been preparing for wrestling. But the truth is, Khamzat doesn't care at all.
I just think Dricus is gonna fucking break him. I just don't think Chimaev has the heart to fucking fight a bigger, better man. So, yeah, my predictions is Dricus breaks in round 5.
Heading into du Plessis versus Chimaev, there were 2 popular predictions. Either Khamzat would finish the fight early within the first 2 rounds, or Dricus would survive, drag it into deep waters, and take over with a decision or late TKO.
This is #1 bullshit.
But even Dricus's plot armor wasn't enough for a miracle in the 5th round. After 22 minutes of relentless control, he nearly caught Boers with RNC, a brief lapse in focus. But it didn't change the fact that du Plessis endured hell in there. Chimaev silenced all his critics, smothering Dricus for the entire fight, minimizing risks, and cruising to the belt, taking every round with ease. No one had ever done that to the company's undefeated champion before. Right here, right now, Khamzat Chimaev stands as a storm across 2 divisions at once, and maybe even 3, if one day he takes the time to bulk up the right way. At just 31, retirement isn't even in the conversation. And truth be told, very few dare to share the cage with him. For obvious reasons, even with the gold wrapped around his waist, it's clear that the belt itself means little to Khamzat. He just enjoys smashing people for money. What else could it be if not the aura?